Hey, deep thinkers, and welcome back to Dr. Monica Nicole with me, Dr. Monica Nicole. We are back with episode 3 of my Why I Left the USA series. When I was sitting with what I wanted to talk about next after the last one, the last conversation, I was getting into what is really defined as like my American dream, right? And what I've wanted. And so now I want to get into just the aspect of how the United States, I feel like in a lot of ways, the system of society is set up to keep you grounded there or stuck in some kind of way, right? Or just financially, it's becoming super expensive to live there. So, for example, I lived in South Memphis until 2021, and I had a 2-bedroom. I was paying like a little less than $800, okay? Now, one would say, oh, that's really good, right? Well, not when you have to continuously deal with bugs and you don't really get that much sunlight. The grass don't grow because there's no sun that comes through. There's always some type of sirens or like loudness, like it's always something going on. Getting into your home in the neighborhood, it's very depressing. I don't want to live around that. So I moved to the suburbs. And moved to the suburbs. When I first moved out there, I was paying $1,500 my first year, 2021, $1,500. Up until when I made the decision to leave, it was $1,700. And so that was for a 1-bedroom. And I really loved it because I was next to water. It was considered a premium apartment, all of that jazz, right? But I was sitting here and I'm like, I'm paying all this to be sitting by man-made water, like a man-made body of water, when I could be living in another country and paying less. And I know many can say, oh, well, you can find something less, but I have a certain type of creative energy that I need in order for me to be my best self. Like a certain environment, I do better by water or surrounded by a lot of greenery, a lot of, grass, trees, things of that nature. Like foresty, vibes. And even then, I can't stay out there for longer than like 30 days maybe. But by water, no time limit for that, okay? But then also the weather. I don't do well with cold. I don't like the cold. I've never liked the cold. And people will be like, but you grew up in Michigan. Okay, what that got to do with anything? What that got to do with anything, Just because I grew up in Michigan doesn't mean I like that shit. I wasn't there by choice. Okay, I got away from it as soon as I could, and then that shit started to follow me in Memphis. And I was like, either I need to start going further south, or I need to just start moving to another country, somewhere where the weather is perfect year round for me. And since I've been here, my breathing has been much better. Now that coughing, that's because, But my breathing and all of that has been like much better. Sleeping good at night, up early in the morning as soon as the sunrise. Ready to go to bed when the sun set. And so as we're getting into the cost of living in other countries and things of that nature. For someone who is not from here, that is a benefit for me. And people do this all the time. They go to other places to make more money, to send it back home, things of that nature, right? And so it's best for me financially to be in a space where I can save more, you know what I'm saying, while also creating. Because what many don't realize, and people get upset when they see my work, they see prices, things of that nature. I need you to understand, I have $178,000 in student loans. This knowledge that then was applied to become wisdom was not cheap. It's not cheap. And them payments start back in February. And I want y'all to let me know down in the comments how much you think my payments are every month, okay? So me being in a space where I can make sure that that is still balanced, right? With what it is that I'm creating, what it is that I'm building, with making sure that I'm paying back on my investments that I made into myself. It's gonna happen. That's why I pivot and I move. And that's what I did. When it comes to the financials of things, yes, I could pay my rent. Yes, I kept my car payment. Yes, I had all of that. But if I could live somewhere else where I'm paying less and the environment is perfect for me, sign me up. A bottled water here, the country that I'm in, and I know a lot of people have been asking me what country I'm in. I've shared it with my members on Substack, but I'll share details when I leave here and go to my next destination outside of that. But what was I getting at? Oh, the way like my money stretches, you know, my meals, like they have this food service thing here. It's similar to like Uber Eats, DoorDash, but it's, you know, for South American countries. And my person delivered that order on a bike, honey. Okay, the bike was about falling apart, but the food got here and it was real good. And the food, if I was to translate how much I paid into American dollars, with rush delivery, it was like $9. And that was for some spaghetti and a natural juice. Now, of course, there's different meals. Like the other day, I paid like $12. I just look and see at what they got, you know what I'm saying, on there, whatever the case is. And it could be an ATM for you. So if I want someone to deliver me some cash, I can use it as an ATM and cash is delivered to me from the app. Like, so it's pretty dope. I love it because one thing is that Uber is not permitted here in the same way that it is in other countries too. So they have certain workarounds with it. And so like I have that, but like the taxi systems are pretty cool. I almost got into an accident the other day though, but I feel like I stopped it. Like one of the sisters was in the front seat, and the other sister was on this side, and then I was on behind the driver. The accident almost happened from the passenger side, and I was just looking at it like, I need this to move. I need us to make it through this. Like, I wasn't bracing for an impact. It was kind of like I was shifting the energy of the car to not hit it, and oddly it didn't hit it. But baby, listen, our driver got out the car and started cussing out the other person. We're like, no, senor, por favor, like, vamonos, like, let's go. Like, we ain't got time for this. Like, we just trying to get big, and you out here trying to fight, okay? You out here trying to fight. He was like, that senoritas and carro, you know, he going in like, you know, I got these ladies in my car and y'all, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. Child. But the money, the financials, Now, although capitalism is around the world, it's not just in the United States, it's in other countries as well. I just feel like right now, the way that the United States is moving and shifting, it's one of those where you have to be prepared for how it may, like, you just have to use wisdom and be aware of certain things and look at the trends of things. You get what I'm saying? And the trends of the United States is that over the course of like the next 4 years, the economy of things, like, we're going to have everything that we need. Like, all of that's going to be fine. All of that's going to be fine. But things are going to, we have to have an understanding that they are going to affect some people, right? For me, I want to use this as a time, as a benefit, to where I'm able to create the things that I want to create by me having extra money available by moving around. It's cheaper for me to move around. It's cheaper for me to move from country to country and gain experiences and write about it. I have a travel blog. How many of y'all subscribe to my travel blog in the comments? How many of y'all on my Substack? Because I realized that even in this season, as I'm shifting from doing majority of my work as person to person and doing more of teaching the teachers. So training the teachers, training other people to go out within their practices and things of that nature, which then frees up my time to be able to create the other things that I would like to create, that I'm interested in creating. And so I'm going through a lot of shifts, personally, professionally, and with those shifts, wisdom, especially when, you know, you have the wisdom of being connected spiritually in a lot of ways, is to take the information and apply it to your life in a way where it's beneficial, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so what I'm doing, I'm being proactive, but then still trusting everything to work out how it needs to work out at the same time. It makes me think about one of my past life regression sessions that I had, and this was my second one. I don't like the bugs, y'all. And I told y'all I was complaining about the other bugs. I was like, damn, I got bugs. There's still some bugs. God damn, there's some bugs. But I was a spiritual, like, practitioner in an Asian community. And I got the vision of a volcano erupting. Okay. And so as an advisor of the town, I went and told the people that the volcano's going to erupt. And like the leaders and the officials were like, no, that volcano hasn't erupted in so and so years. So and so said that it's not expected to erupt until X, Y, and Z. Da da da. So they didn't believe me. And not only did they not believe, the birds be playing with me. They just shut up. But not only did, the birds are so hilarious here, y'all. They love flying up and like playing with you. They'll start like shooting in. But so not only did I not heed the advice, the volcano erupted and we all died. And so I typically, because I've had that theme happen in multiple of my sessions, to where this season of my life is about taking the messages when I receive them, when I feel called to do something. Now, is everyone, am I saying everyone's being called to move? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that in this season, certain things are becoming apparent within our society, and we're being given information so that we can heed what's happening with wisdom. Okay? Manifesting and being in alignment is not just about everything happening perfectly and things of that nature. It's about taking all of the information that you receive and applying it so that you can save yourself from certain things happening, if that makes sense, or keep certain things up and keep certain things going. And for me, it was a part of my assignment to move and travel and write about those travels. So as I'm getting in, even with my experiences and stuff, I'm not going to start releasing the articles of what I'm experiencing while I'm here until after I leave. But me having these experiences of traveling is aiding in my personal worth, if that makes sense. So the traveling is also beneficial for me financially because it's giving me new experiences to talk about and write about and connect about. You get what I'm saying? And so I'm loving everything so far. I feel like everything is aligning exactly how it needs to align. I've had to make a couple changes in my plans, and it's like I love the aspect of being flexible. I'm a life path 5, so changing things, being flexible, all of that jazz, I've come to accept it, love it, live it, okay? And so I think I know where I'm going to be now for February, because I know where I want to be at in March. And so I'm just excited as I plan out my destination to all of the places or whatever. But yes, okay, yes. The financial aspect, it made sense for me financially. I'm renting out a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's cheaper than what I was paying back home. And I'm oceanfront. So my quality of life is better. I'm more productive. And not productive in the sense of like being in hustle mode, but I'm able to flow with getting my work done. It's beautiful. And so that's the vibe of this conversation. Shout out to everyone who has commented, shared your feedback, all of that jazz. Definitely leave any questions that you have for me that you want to make me to make sure that I answer within this series and these conversations. I don't know what part is going to come up next in the conversation because there's a lot of different pieces as to why I left the United States. So I'm just going to get into everything of what added into like me making that decision. So yes, money, the financials, all of that played a major part. But there's other things that played a part as well, you know, into there, because money ain't everything also too. Because everything that glitters ain't gold. But definitely leave your questions down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. See y'all later, deep thinkers. And as always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what you and your higher self is calling for you to do. Period. Look, I'm just gonna keep this outro for all of my channels because it just feels right. But I love you all, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.